Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. Well, we're still out here sweltering in this never-ending heat wave. 30, 30, 30, every day 30. Completely unheard of around here. We're getting a few scattered showers here and there, but the crops, the fields are still bone dry, and everybody really needs to be taking prepping seriously. So today on the channel, I want to talk about who can you trust if and when the municipal, state level, provincial, or even federal institutions that we rely on to govern us collapse. Let's get to it. So what's inspired me to make this video, I was watching the movie Dawn of the Dead. Not the original, but the 2004 version. I usually watch it once every few years because it's a great movie. But there's a character in there by the name of CJ. And CJ is one of these characters that you usually see in movies that is very abrasive at the start, very unlikable at the start, but comes through for the group in the end. There's a lot of characters like this in shows. Another example would be somebody like Daryl from The Walking Dead. In the first few episodes, really had an attitude, really had an edge, not really a likable character, but he comes to be a very likable character. Another good example is in the movie The Grey with Liam Neeson. There's a guy in there who is just a really annoying person from the start. The kind of person you just wouldn't feel bad at all if he got eaten by wolves in the movie right away. But he turned out to actually be a very selfless individual in the movie. Now, I know it's just fiction, but I've also had experiences with people like this in my real life. People who are just bellicose, belligerent, abrasive, they got no filter. People you don't want to bring around your family or people you really care about, because they're just really annoying people, right? But people like that, I tell you, you get them in certain circumstances and they may actually excel. It's just like some of those kids in class who, were put on medications because they couldn't contain themselves or they couldn't adapt to the framework which was laid out in the education system. So they either had to get put on drugs or they had to go to some special class or whatever. It's because the gifts that they have, they had nowhere to blossom. Okay, these guys, they're not going to make the best officers in the military, but put them as squad leader, a corporal, maybe even a sergeant, they're going to excel in that role. They're frontline, hard-hitting grunts. And the great thing about these types of people is, in spite of the fact that they exhibit this aggressiveness, the great thing about these types of people who are governed by whatever thoughts come into their head is that they're transparent. You know where they stand. They very seldom have a secret agenda. And they very seldom are at all concerned with seeking power. They may be fearful and they may do things out of fear in haste, but you get that person in the right situation and given the right leadership, they can excel and they can help out your survival group. So what I'm trying to say in this video is that some people who you might intuitively think are going to be excellent assets to your preparedness group, they're not going to be. And other people who you might think are going to throw a wrench into the whole thing may actually be the best people to have around. It may be that there's some people out there who are really built for SHTF, and they're built to thrive in a chaotic environment. But because we don't live in a chaotic environment, they, by contrast, seem quite chaotic. And a lot of people don't want to be around them. These types of obnoxious people may be liabilities without proper leadership. But in the long term, they could be a very good asset. For one, people like this tend to have a fight response as opposed to a flight response. So when faced with a challenging, stressful situation, these are the types of people that will likely rise to the occasion and have your back. Now, the people who are going to be problematic from a group politics perspective, the short of it is, it's the people who are power hungry in some way, shape, or form. The Karens of the world, okay? The people who have no power, but they try to wield whatever limited power they do have to the fullest. The people you really have to worry about are the social climber types, okay? The conniving people, the backstabbing people, the people who would go behind your back to do stuff or to sabotage you. Not necessarily psychopaths even, but just vindictive type people, power-hungry people. The people you want leading your survival group are people who don't want to be leaders. And myself personally, I don't want the job of being a leader. And I don't just say that so that people will want me to be the leader. I legitimately wouldn't want to be a leader. Maybe in the upper ranks and be on the advisory panel, if you will, but I wouldn't want to be leading the charge. The person who's going to lead the group, it's going to be very evident because they're going to start doing things that are leader-like. They're going to have the vision, the bigger ambition. They're going to have the well-being of the community as their sole focus. So they're not going to be concerned about themselves and social climbing. They're not doing what they're doing out of fear of losing their own individual position in the hierarchy, but maybe a fear of what's going to happen to this community if it collapses. So the real people you have to watch out for are not the people you might think you have to watch out for, is what I'm trying to say. Yes, there's going to be certain traits that are going to be amplified in an SHTF situation. If a person has psychopathic or sociopathic tendencies, those are going to be amplified. There's no doubt about that. Okay, if a person is a mean person, and when I talk about people who are belligerent and annoying and got no filter, I'm not talking about people like that who also have criminal tendencies. Okay, people who have that sort of criminal mindset and also possess those traits, yeah, they're going to be a problem, but honestly, people like that are probably going to get wiped out pretty quickly. They're going to do something stupid to get canceled, okay? And I mean canceled with a capital C. There's a difference between people who virtue signal and who are actually virtuous. You see, people who are actually virtuous and mean what they say and genuinely care about the cause that they claim to represent, they're going to do something without the need for all the accolades that come with it. But virtue signalers, these are probably the most dangerous types of people. These are the types of people who are going to be the most controlling. The people who want the best for the world, but want it in such a way that it means restricting mine or your freedom in some respect. These are going to be dangerous people. It's just a dangerous mindset to be in. It's not that I don't appreciate their sentiment and their desire, and there may even be a genuine desire to make the world a better place. But it's in the way that they go about doing it that if they try to employ that style of social control, it's going to end badly. So beware of the virtue signalers and seek out the virtuous in terms of leadership. And just never judge a book by its cover, because remember, it's going to be a whole different set of rules. And there's a lot of people who are alive today only because we live in a society that has a certain set of rules that are no longer going to be applicable when the shit hits the fan. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Canadian Prepper out.
The best way to support this channel is to support yourself by gearing up at CanadianPreparedness.com, your one-stop shop for premium, high-quality, brand-name products that have been tried and tested by myself and other YouTube gear reviewers. My subscribers save 10% off by using the coupon code SURVIVALPREPPER. All one word in all caps.